was a big problem for us, and their bench just played an unbelievable last 15 minutes of the game. I mean, just tremendous, and so you got to give them a lot of credit. Their shot making, their aggression, all that was big time. We had some pretty good looks that didn't go in. That was disappointing. But we did an awful lot of good things in the first 2.5 quarters. But unfortunately, the last 18 minutes count.
Obviously, we talked a lot about depth and injuries and whatnot. The guys that you brought out there at the end of the third quarter, are some guys that would usually be low-minute guys this year, had to play a lot. What did you see kind of go sideways for them in particular? And it's obviously some of that is how well they play, but where did you see some of the breakdowns?
Yeah, I just thought we had some frantic sequences where we got sped up, had untimely live ball turnovers, and then got the crowd into it. And we still had a 10-point lead going into the fourth. But there were some different things. I mean, we had some really unnecessary fouls that led to them getting into the bonus in the third quarter. That slowed the game down for them, let them set their defense. Crowd got into it. I mean, look, year in, year out. I mean, this crowd is amazing. I mean, these people are really into it. They love basketball. They love the Kings, and the crowd had a lot to do with it too. They just really juiced the arena.
Aaron Nesmith obviously had a bunch of injuries this season. He's had a difficult time getting the rhythm. Just what did it mean to see him at least get started? Have a first half like he did. Obviously struggled in the second half, but it was nice to see him just get going.
Yeah, he had a great start, and I thought he had some good looks in the second half. Not as high quality as probably the first half, but they made adjustments at halftime, and they're paying a lot of attention to him. The guy had 24 points in 16 minutes or whatever it was. We just right now we're just not the kind of team that one guy can put the other guys on their back. I mean, Pascal could do it, but Pascal wasn't available tonight. We needed a more even collective effort over 48 minutes. We had it for 36. It wasn't enough.
Obi, I think, played the most that he's played. I think just a little bit south of 15 minutes, 17 points. Just obviously he had a little more responsibility with no Pascal there. What did you like about what you saw from him, and just you think about the progress that he's making coming back?
He's gaining rhythm. He's gaining conditioning. He had a couple of threes. I think he had 2 threes, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it's 2 of 5.
Yeah, 2 5. Those are good signs, and he's got to tolerate these incremental increases in minutes, and then we can perhaps gradually ramp it up from there. We'll have to see. We got a back-to-back coming up Thursday, Friday. We're gonna have to look at that. With him, but I like what he did tonight.
So obviously pretty throw him into the fire game for Cam Jones. He starts this game and he's guarding Russell.
Well, he started a lot of games.
Yeah, sure, but he's he has, but like he's guarding a Hall of Famer tonight probably. How do you feel like he just handled just that pressure on both sides?
It's a learning experience. I mean, you're going to the classroom, and he did a good job, a solid job in the first half. Again, it wasn't that matchup that hurt us. It was their bench.
Right.
I mean,
Carter was.
When Westbrook, you look at the plus minus and all that. It wasn't that matchup. It was with the damage that their bench did, and they did it against our second unit and our starters. And our starters played a good 9 minutes in the fourth quarter. So again, this is more about credit to them than anything. I was really impressed with their intensity and how they got the crowd into it.
I guess just one more on that on the bench. Just what impressed you about Devin Carter in particular? I think he had ultimately 24 of his in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he signed a long-term deal by tomorrow morning. I mean, he was great, absolutely great. And I, didn't know much about him, but You know, he's super fast. He got to the rim a bunch of times, and then those rainbow threes were out of this world. You know, but this is the kind of stuff that can happen. You know, when you get a building going and you get the fans into it, and a team gets juiced up, and you know, we needed to be able to keep them out of the paint 3 or 4 more times when it really mattered, and get the ball in the basket 3 or 4 more times when it really mattered, and we would have had a cushion that we could probably finish the game, but it just didn't go that way.
And yeah, just real quick, Coach, and when you talk about the aggression that those bench players was coming in, with Plow, and Devin Carter, Nick Clifford was out on the floor. I think Killian Hayes. You referred to the defense that they were playing.
Yeah, no, they picked up their intensity defensively. They created turnovers. Really, I haven't watched it yet, but they caused, a wide variety of problems for us.
And this is my last question. Just a side note. Bam, he scored 83 points tonight. I don't know if you know that. You hear that tonight?
Oh yeah,
What you think about that before?
amazing. Miami's had a lot of explosive games this year, but I heard he had 30 points in the first quarter. Is that accurate?
31.
31. So he was on track for 120. So pretty amazing feat.
Okay,
Thank you, Coach.
thank you.
Yep.
We'll do players in the locker room.